Good morning, everyone. This is Reverend Mickey broadcasting to you, live streaming, I guess I should say, from Unity Church. And very strange time that we're in, and we hope that we can share with you an encouraging word today and bring strength and encouragement to us all as we look to move beyond what's undoubtedly probably the most unusual time in most of our lifetimes. But have something I'd like to share with you today that I believe will be a blessing to you. I began last week sharing on the subject of the old man and the dream. And we talked about the power dreams have. And if there's any time that I think this is appropriate, it would be now, because the nature of dreams is to help us to see a better day, a brighter time. And so this would definitely be appropriate for that. But I want to read to you from the Jewish scriptures, book of 1 Kings, if you'd like to follow along with me. And we'll begin with verse 1. Now King David was old, advanced in age, and they covered him with clothes, but he could not keep warm. So his servant said to him, "Let them seek a young virgin for my lord the king, and let her attend the king and become his nurse. And let her lie in your bosom, that my lord the king may keep warm." So they searched for a beautiful girl throughout all the territory of Israel, and found Abishag the Shunammite, and brought her to the king. And the girl was very beautiful, and she became the king's nurse and served him. But the king did not cohabit with her. George Bernard Shaw said, and this was quoted and adapted a little by Robert Kennedy during his presidential bid, and I really like Bobby's version better. He said, "Some men see the things that they are and say, why?" He said, "I dream things that never were and say, why not?" I always love that. It fires up my soul. And it's really the essence of the difference between what we see, what we observe, and what's in our hearts. And dreams are the things in our hearts that bring forth greater, newer reality. Well, I'd like to recap a little bit, if I may, from last week's message. Talked about, in verse 1, it said King David was old. And I suggested and want to suggest to you, especially if you didn't hear the message last week, that old is a condition that comes about when we have no more dreams. It has nothing to do with your chronological age. You can still be young, full of dreams. As I said last week, I've met younger people that seem so old because they had no dreams. They'd given up any thought that life could be better, for whatever reason, that life had beaten up on them and made them weary, and they seemed so old. But I've met, on the other hand, people on in chronological years that were full of life, full of dreams, full of hope. As I've said many times, a man I greatly admire, Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, at the age of 95, he had set out his goals for the next 10 years. And even though he didn't actually get to achieve them in this time around, he died with dreams. And I'd rather go out like that, I think you agree with me, rather than feeling old and having no hope. I mentioned also, when I came to Unity Church here, I encountered some dreamers right away. Particularly what impressed me was the dreams of Billy and Memphis Angels, and Reverend Chris' dream of the largest Unity church in North America. That got hold of me and gripped me, and I thought, I can fit in here because there's dreamers in this house. And if you feel like your dreams have diminished, that maybe they've gotten away from you, that I hope this will encourage you today to take hold of them again. Because dreams are what make us young. Dreams are what keep us from this condition of being old that David had found himself in. Because as I pointed out last week, David was a dreamer. He dreamed early on when he was tending his father's sheep and writing his songs and thinking about the greater glory that would come to Israel and that he would be a part of that. He was full of dreams. And only when those dreams stopped did he become old. Charles Freeman said in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary that David was the personification of divine love in human consciousness, and particularly how love rules. David became king, and love rules. Love should rule. And so I really appreciate that insight, that metaphysical insight into what David represents. But I want to talk this morning about things that happen when you have no dreams. Things that happen when you have no dreams. If we begin with verse 1 again, look at that a little more closely. It said David was old and advanced in age. The first thing that happens when you have no dreams, you get old, as we've said already. It becomes the same old, same old. There's nothing new, nothing fresh, nothing to fill you with excitement and enthusiasm in a sense that this a greater day is yet to come. You get old and suddenly things seem so gray and so lifeless. And it doesn't have to be that way. Dreams are what colors our lives. Dreams are what refreshes our life continually. So if you have no dreams, first of all, you get old. Second, as we see in verse 1 and 2, said they covered him with clothes, but he could not keep warm. So his servant said, let them seek a young virgin for my lord the king, and let her attend the king and become his nurse. And let her lie in your bosom, that my lord the king may keep warm. Second thing that happens when you have no dreams, you get cold. First you get old, and then you get cold. And we see that that's what happened in the life of David because his dreams were gone. And it speaks of cold is essentially the absence of heat. And in thermodynamics, it relates to the absence of a certain kind of energy. An energy that is moved between two things when one is hotter than the other. And so we want to be, as dreamers, we can bring that kind of energy to the lives of other people, to those around us. And as we see, David was unable to generate enough heat to keep warm. His absence of dreams, his absence of renewed life brought him to a place where there was no energy, there was no heat. And as you see that they resorted to finding a young girl to lie with him in hopes of keeping him warm. Incidentally, that's where you get the term hottie. I'm just kidding. No, that's not really where you get it. But the principle is the same, trying to keep him warm. And so we see that in this particular situation, she was a very beautiful girl, but it made the point he did not cohabit or he was not sexually involved with her. She did not become a concubine in the strictest sense. And David had lots of those. And he sired lots of children by a number of these women. But if you'll notice, he did not lie with her in that sense. And so the third thing that happens when you have no more dreams, you get lifeless. David was no longer able to generate the seed of life that would produce, new life. And so he lost the ability to generate and issue the seed of life. And that happens when you lose your dreams. You're no longer someone that other people receive life from, that receive a generation of something in them. I want to encourage you, I want to be that kind of person. I think you want that as well. And if you remain full of dreams, that's exactly what you are. When people like to have you around because you stir and encourage them, you make them think about how much different and better things can be. And so, but David had lost that because he's lost his dreams. A lack of dreams causes us to no longer generate life energy to those near us. And I think we all want to be that kind of generator. And finally, what happens when you lose your dreams, you cannot see beauty. So this girl was very beautiful, but the king was unmoved by it. Stirred no passion in him at all because he couldn't see beauty anymore. When you don't have dreams, then you also don't have a sense of the beauty that's all around us. And it's always there if we'll just look with our dreams. A lack of dreams obscure the incredible beauty that's present in life and in other people. And you just can't see it. It doesn't move you anymore because you have no dreams. So I want to encourage you to dream again. Renew your dream. If you had one, you put it away, bring it back, dust it off. If say, well, I don't really have a dream right now, well then find someone who does and help them with theirs. It's amazing when you help them with their dream how yours suddenly come to fruition. And we can become an army of dreamers, which I think is an incredible thing, don't you? So I want to encourage you in that today, to dream again. And those dreams that you get, don't let them go. And you won't get old. You'll continue to be a source of heat and life and encouragement and strength. So that's our message for today. I really appreciate you sharing this with me. I want to encourage you during this odd time when we actually can't come here and be together. Miss you a whole lot and look forward to seeing you again as soon as we can. In the meantime, we'd like to encourage you to continue your giving to our church, either by mail or go to our website and you'll find ways to support the church. Mail would be preferable because there's no fee charged to us, but feel free to use either one, of course. And just thank you again for being here with us for this live stream, and bless you today, and have a great week.